Hi, my name is Craig Maxwell. I'm with the Computer Connection of Southern Utah, and I've been using Arsenal for 9 months now, since January of this year. So I believe that it was actually, I want to say it was Aaron who actually called me directly, and I hadn't heard of Arsenal, I hadn't been searching, wasn't looking for any marketing company or anything like that, but they reached out to me, and I finally took a call, an appointment with them, and I was actually quite impressed with what I saw. I want to say that what really made me decide to go with Arsenal is when I asked them to show me which other computer stores in my town they were working with. And they pulled up, they were happy to share, they pulled up their exact cold calling list and showed me all the names of the companies I recognized in my own town and who they'd talked to and who they were working on setting appointments with. And that actually kind of, to be honest, it actually scared me a little bit, right? I'm like, okay, so if I don't sign up with them, they're going to sign up with someone else and I'm going to miss out on the opportunity. And so that really enticed me to go with them. I really appreciated the conversation and how they were transparent and even the whole process all along the way. They've been very upfront on how the processes work and who they're calling and everything. It's been really nice too. So the portal's been great. So usually when we get a first appointment with a client, I'll go log into the portal and look at the history, and it just amazes me that anytime we have a first appointment, oftentimes there's been several phone calls made to that client in order to try and get that first appointment. And that's what I really appreciate about Arsenal, is because they've been making all those calls, all the follow-up calls, and that's the part that I honestly really don't like doing. I don't like doing the cold calling and those initial follow-ups, and so it's been nice to see that they've done all that beforehand. Yes, I've been very satisfied with my experience here at Arsenal. It took a few months to get that kind of sales pipeline filled, right? And so it's kind of a slow start, which I would expect of any service like this. But once we got going, it seems like we have new appointments on a regular basis and follow-up appointments, and it's actually been going very well. I'm very pleased with the experience. It's working great for us. Yeah, so I've been very pleased with the relationship with Brock. He's very easy to get hold of. We oftentimes, multiple times a week, will text back and forth and give updates on, what I'm doing on the appointment side and what he's been doing on setting up new appointments. And he always responds in a timely manner. And we have our partner meetings on a monthly basis to go over all the customer leads and appointments, and everything's working very well. So yeah, if I were to do this whole process again, I would actually, I really like the experience I've had working with Arsenal as opposed to hiring someone inside my team. If I were to hire someone, I would have to train them and show them how to do the work and make the calls, set the appointments, and that experience already came with this group, and that's been a huge benefit to me. So yeah, when I was first watching the different videos showcasing the different reps I could choose from, I happened to see Brock's video and just was very impressed on his, on how down to earth he was and how easy it was to hear his communication, and so I chose Brock. So that's actually, yeah, that's a great question. The startup was just it took a little bit. It took a little bit of time. It took about 3 months to really get that pipeline going and get some calls coming in. But what I'm really excited about now is the pipeline is full, right? We've got a lot of first appointments happening, follow-up appointments happening on a regular basis. We're getting new appointments all the time. Since working with Arsenal, we have actually signed up a new client, and that particular client is actually our largest client right now in terms of monthly revenue, which has been awesome, right? But what's even more exciting than that is that we actually have a prospect right now in the pipeline that I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to close by the end of the year, and that client will then become our next, our largest client at that point. And so it's just been really exciting, because normally I wouldn't reach out to these types of companies, but Arsenal's been able to reach out to them, get a hold of the right person, and make the appointments, and it's just been working really well. So at this point, we've closed over $3,600 in monthly recurring revenue, and we're really excited about what's coming up. I expect that by the end of this year, we'll be able to at least double that, if not more. Yes, almost all of our meetings to this point have been in person, which is great. I think there's a certain feeling that you can get by meeting in person with the clients, and not just a feeling for us working with them, but them working with us. and they get a feel for how professional our organization is. And if possible for your I would recommend in-person meetings. Yes, Arsenal has absolutely helped me to meet my goals for the year. We had a certain revenue goal towards the beginning of the year that we wanted to hit, and we're actually on track to not only meet that goal, but surpass it by quite a bit. So we're very excited about that. As far as appointments go, we typically get a new appointment every single week, which is great because it helps keep that pipeline going. And then we also have those follow-up appointments that we go on, and yeah, it's been really great to see those new appointments being set without me having to work on it. So yeah, the follow-up. So if it's a person I've already met with and done a presentation with, made a proposal to, then I'll typically do the follow-ups. And if I don't get a response back, then I usually will turn it back over to Brock and let him, set a follow-up meeting of some kind. And usually he's able to stick with long enough to get a follow-up appointment. So we chose to go with the revenue sharing, mostly because I wanted to see if it really worked. Right? I didn't want to pay for a higher cost up front if I didn't know we were going to close some deals and see that benefit. Anytime there's a salesperson involved, I think if they can see there's going to be some sort of commission, some sort of percentage kickback, I think it's going to entice them to work a little bit harder and work more to close some deals. So yeah, I think it looks great. I've been super excited about the leads that we've been getting now and the deals that we've been able to close. And I honestly think that that I'll be with Arsenal for a long time. As long as the leads and appointments keep coming in, then I'm very satisfied. Partnership with Arsenal, I would say it's absolutely worth it. Just know that you can't just plan on signing up for 3 months and getting a ton of new clients and then stopping after that, right? It does take time. It's a true sales process. It takes time to fill that pipeline and meet with the clients and do the follow-ups, and then eventually you'll start to see those sales closing, right? So it may not be a get-rich-quick plan, right? But it will work. Just stick with it and do the appointments, and it will definitely get some new clients for you. Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in business a long time, right? Over 20 years now, and I've done a lot of different marketing plans, a lot of different strategies and marketing coaches and stuff. But the problem with a lot of the plans I've done is that they expect you to do all the work, right? And so when I met Arsenal and they said that they were going to make the calls and they were going to do all the follow-ups and they were going to set the appointments, I was actually intrigued right away. And I would say absolutely, I would recommend Arsenal to other clients, to other people that may be looking for a service like this, because in my day, making a cold call was super stressful. And I've done it for several years, right? I was making calls and pulling my own lists and things like that, and every single time I'd have to stop before I made the call and just really think about it, like, okay, if they say this, what am I going to say? And I just actually start writing down notes, and I was like, okay, if they say this, I'm going to have to say this, and try and plan out every single detail of every call. And it would take me half an hour to make every single cold call, right? And it just was not an effective use of time. And then to try and remember to follow up with them and do the follow-ups after that initial cold call, just the same thing. It just about gave me a heart attack every time. And so when they said they were going to take all that off my plate and do it all for me and set the appointments, I was definitely on board, and I would recommend their service to other clients. So yeah, when I got a text message from Brock saying that we had our first appointment, I'll be honest, I was actually a little nervous. I'm like, wow, I've actually got to do something now, right? And I had to make a plan of how I was going to talk to this person and what I was going to say and everything. But it was so amazing to know that I really didn't have to do, I didn't have to do a lot of that lead work, right? This was someone who wanted to meet with me to get knowledge from me, and it was a great feeling to be able to have that appointment and already set up for me, and be able to go in and meet them and meet a new client, a new prospect, and hopefully to get some future work together. So I remember one appointment that Brock was able to set for us. It was for a health clinic in town, and I was able to go and meet with their clinic manager, and it was great. I was able to take a tour of the whole facility, take a lot of notes on different needs that they had. And I went back to my office and prepared an official presentation and came back and presented to them. And when I came back for the presentation, they put me down in their conference room, and there was 3 people on their team there. There was the clinic manager, the primary physician, and then another office manager as well. And I made my presentation to them, went through the whole thing, told them what things they were doing right, what things needed improvement, and it actually just went really well. The presentation went super well. I was able to make some comparisons to their own business on how we run our IT services. As far as I could tell, they were very pleased with the presentation. And so towards the end of the meeting, I said that I would follow up next week and see how things were going, and got in my car and drove away. It just so happened to be about lunchtime when I was finishing the appointment, and I was literally sitting in a drive-through for a restaurant, maybe just 2 minutes away from their office, and they called me back and said, "Yep, we're ready to do it right now, and when can you be here to get things set up?" And it was probably one of the quickest closes I've ever had. But yeah, it just was a great solution, and they've been a great client, still are a great client today. So I've been in business a long time, and when you first start your business, you have all these dreams, right? You're like, oh, this is going to be amazing. By the end of my first year, I'm going to be a millionaire. Whatever it happens to be for your own business, right? You have these great aspirations, and over time it changes, right? You start to realize that the business can actually be a little bit tough, right? That it takes time to build a good, strong business. But in working with Arsenal, I'll be honest, it seems like a lot of those dreams have been starting to come back. I've been able to plan again, right? To see that there's some real growth happening here, and it's been really exciting to say, we're probably going to need to hire another technician by the end of the year, and I didn't think that was going to happen, but because of those additional clients we've been bringing on, we're going to need new staff members, and it's really exciting to be able to set goals and know that we're actually going to hit that goal. And not only hit it, but surpass it, and then that just makes it even more exciting to set the goal for the next year. I'm really excited to see where the future is going, and it's been fun to dream again as the business owner.
So when I first found out that you chose me, it was actually at the end of the day. It was a Friday right before our Christmas party.
I remember that.
Aaron
yes.
comes out and is like, "All right, last thing, Brock, you just got a new client. Computer Connection, Southern Utah." I was like, awesome. It kind of made me, real feel happy. I think he mentioned something about you wanted us to celebrate or something. So that was real nice of you to kind of send me off to our holiday party that way. And I know I was real excited, especially looking at your profile on Salesforce and seeing like your company doing research on you guys. I knew that this was going to be a good partnership. As far as partner meetings and communication goes, we have almost too much to talk about in our partner meetings.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll go on for an hour and a half. So it's always stuff to talk about. Always feel like, our services here at Arsenal are benefiting you. And, I feel like I'm a part of your team to help, you guys grow. So
yeah.
I really like that. Yeah, I was pretty excited. Obviously, it's a rush whenever you first start with somebody, and it was only 6 days in, but still I was really excited to get Craig his first one. Just starting off trying to learn Craig's our business, what the Computer Connection's all about, what he looks for as a new client. Fresh off of onboarding, I was just scrolling through. Obviously, there's a ton of records to call, but from the first appointment to now, we kind of know what we're looking for. I kind of know what Craig would want as a client, so it's gotten a lot easier to I guess qualify some of these prospects before we call them, just because I know that that's what Craig might want as a new client. So now it's been 9.5, almost 10 months. I feel like the quality of appointments has gone up.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, it's like at first you're just dying to get an appointment, but you still want to make sure it's qualified. But for me, it's like, for us, we don't have to worry about that, because I know every appointment that I'm going to set is pretty much going to be a good appointment, especially with your sales process now. It's just like I tell everybody upstairs, I'm like, Craig has his down. Like he goes, if they don't want to meet in person, he's fine with calling them. He always sets up an in-person meeting. So I really like how your sales process has changed.
When I was doing my first appointments, same thing. I was a little bit nervous trying to figure out exactly what I was going to do, what I was going to say. But we've actually got a great plan now. And anytime I have a new appointment, I know exactly what the process is, what my goals are. I have a worksheet that I try and fill out, trying to get all that information from the client on that very first visit. And then when we do the follow-up, I have an awesome presentation that I can share with them, showing them exactly what their overall security and network score is. And then it's really easy for them to see, black and white. Here's where you are right now, and here's where you should be, right? And so for them, it's easy to make a decision if they're going to go with us or not based on what they can see in that report. And it's definitely been a huge improvement over what we've done in the past.
Yeah, I don't know what you tell them, but they love it.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a pleasure kind of seeing how our sales process together has kind of, we both know what to do and what not to do.
Yep.
We both know who's going to do what, and I really like that. I knew it was coming. We knew it was close, just a matter of time, I think. I was informed on the partner meeting, and yeah, I don't know if you remember, but I was pretty excited. I probably couldn't stop smiling. But yeah, it was pretty, I guess, heartwarming to know that this actually does work, and all my hard work finally, paid off for both of us.
Awesome.
So yeah, I was pretty excited about it. Didn't know how to contain myself on the partner meeting without jumping out of my seat. I think it's been 3,600, a little over that.
A little over 3,600.
Yeah, with plenty more to go.
Well, so I was actually a little bit worried about, working these types of cells in my area because, overall St. George is a relatively small area, right? And so I was concerned about the ability to find the number of leads and that we can work with. But no, I've been very happy with how the pipeline's filled up, and even just in our current pipeline, I think we can more than double what we've done so far, and then I'm excited to see what other leads will enter there soon. So
because Sherry Choice Builders, how much would that have been? Right around 1,000 probably.
Yeah, I think it was just under 1,000 maybe. But
and then with the potential of all the other ones.
Yeah.
The chiropractor and.
Yeah, there's still a lot of good ones.
Yeah. So. Easily double I'd see in the pipeline.
Yep.
Which is pretty exciting.
I think the type of clients has been just about what we've done. We haven't really specialized in any one industry, any one vertical, and so yeah. I mean, we've been talking to lots of different businesses, which is fine. But I think the size is what kind of surprised me. Right, at first we were getting our target size, but recently we've been talking to clients that are larger than what I would normally talk to, but still find that we have services that they're very interested in, and they're excited to see what we can do for them on a larger scale, which is exciting.
Yeah, it's always a good feeling to set those appointments up for you, even if they are just a little bit bigger. Just kind of allows you to kind of see the potential, the growth that it could bring. I know, like, we had that one guy way back in January that we really didn't feel comfortable with servicing just because of the size of his network. And I feel like here pretty soon we might be able to feel more comfortable about talking to him. So it's always good seeing stuff come back around in the pipeline. Yeah, obviously, my goal was to, do that for Craig. Just grow his business, make sure, he's, benefiting from it. I'm benefiting from it. and to see his goals being met and his dreams, you know, become reality and actually more goals and more dreams, you know, it makes me feel really good to do that for you.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it was about that same time that we were, you know, really closing some good deals, getting, you know, the number of appointments we're getting were speeding up, and you know, I mean, it seems like for a couple of weeks there, we were doing 2 to 3 every week, and it was, you know, I could really just see the growth was happening, and you know, and so yeah, I thought it'd be fun to come and meet Brock in person. So that was definitely a big part of it, and then just coming and touring a new city and seeing, you know, seeing what's here.
So, I mean, obviously with the flat rate, you know, there's guaranteed money every month, but I kind of like the revenue share just because, like what he was saying, the size of businesses that we're meeting with now are getting larger, which means, you know, potentially if they close, be more money for, you know, both of us. So obviously being revenue share, there's always, you know, that chance for the work you do, the work that, you know, I would set up for you to close, it would, you know, pay off bigger for both of us.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that aspect over flat rate.
Well, and it was nice to do those larger businesses, you know, a little bit later, so we have time to develop a good sales cycle and really get the pattern figured out, so that we can, you know, put our very best effort towards those larger clients.
Best pitch at them.
Yeah.
Best process. I agree. Being, you know, partnered up with Craig as his rep has been pretty fun and rewarding, just because of like you were talking about earlier, you know, the growth process and the process you've, you know, taken to, you know, really nail down your sales process. You know, I feel like I'm getting in a good groove, setting up appointments, you know, building up sales processes, and just overall, I think our relationship's fine. You know, I like how we communicate. I feel like sometimes I might bug you a little bit too much, but you know, that's just me trying to stay on top of you know, my side, and I feel like overall our relationship's there, communication's there, and we're getting results. So,
yep.
You know, like you, I can't wait to have more goals and more dreams coming up. So, appreciate your work.
Awesome.